Join us today on DAP Programming to learn more about autism with Danny and Katie, sponsored by Dr. Hodge.
Hello, I'm Katie Conkling.
And I am Danny Kuder.
And you are watching another DAP program.
In today's segment, we are covering the topic of students with autism.
Tell me, Danny, what is autism?
Well, Katie, a person with autism has persistent deficits in social communication and social interaction across multiple contexts, such as social emotional reciprocity, nonverbal communicative behaviors, and deficits in developing, maintaining, and understanding relationships. It also includes restrictive, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities.
Right. I also heard that the symptoms must be present in the early developmental period.
You heard correctly.
Incredible.
Before you go on, I was wondering if you could tell me some of the symptoms and characteristics people with autism express.
Oh, yes, of course. So according to Autism Speaks, a national organization for autism, at 8 to 10 months, a person with autism will have reduced interest in people and delayed babbling. Later in life, a person with autism can be expected to have communication challenges, such as difficulties with social interaction and regulating emotions, understanding body language, understanding non-literal expressions, and in severe cases, they may even be nonverbal, Danny.
Oh, excuse me, Katie. It looks like we have a question from the audience. If you could please come up, sir. We have a question from the audience from you, sir. D-Robes!
Okay.
Hi, it's an honor to be on DAP Programming. My name is D-Robes, and I am a small-town middle school English teacher, and I am planning on teaching a student with autism this upcoming year. What are some of the teaching strategies I can incorporate into my classroom curriculum to most benefit my students?
Fantastic question! Some common methods teachers use in the classroom could be using visuals for instruction, such as a visual schedule, color-coded information, and using completed models.
In addition to that, Danny, giving students choice and control over daily activities and developing effective home and school communication habits between parents and teachers has proven to help the student tremendously. All of this information was provided by sharpschool.net.
Wow! That makes a lot of sense!
Thank you for your question. You may take a seat, D-Robes.
So, we now know the characteristics of autism, as well as some teaching strategies for some students with autism. Are there any treatments?
There it is.
We have some
Looks like we
breaking
have some
news, everybody!
breaking news.
Sorry, wait. Hold on.
Got it. Apparently, there are no cures for autism, but there look to be a whole list of therapies that teach people with autism valuable life skills and increase confidence.
Huh. It looks like some of the therapies include occupational therapy, speech therapy, and applied behavioral analysis theory. Occupational therapists work to promote, maintain, and develop the skills needed by students to be functional in a school setting and beyond.
Speech therapy is as it sounds and includes a speech pathologist who sets goals that may include mastering spoken language and learning nonverbal communication skills, such as signs or gestures. Applied behavioral analysis is a very broad topic for multiple ways to go about giving therapy treatment to a person with autism. Two common subgroups of this include discrete trial learning and incidental training, which both help relate lessons learned from a therapist to real-life situations.
This is all very incredible information, since autism is one of the most common exceptionalities encountered in the public school system and has increased 10% in prevalence over the past 40 years.
What an interesting statistic! We have a professional actually on the subject who came in to talk more about the statistics found in students with autism. If you would please come in, Miss Ree Watts.
Wonderful to be with y'all today. I have brought with me a few statistics over this topic. The first being that 1 in 68 American children are on the autism spectrum. To further elaborate, this includes 1 in 42 boys and 1 in 189 girls. Unfortunately, 35% of young adults with autism have not had a job or received postgraduate education after leaving high school. However, that does leave 65% of children with autism having a job or post-secondary education. Look at it!
Thank you so much for your input, Ms. Reed Watts.
It was wonderful to be here with you guys today.
Though these statistics seem very difficult to live with, there are many forms of assistive technologies at the public's disposal to aid in everyday life. First, we have the GoTalk communication device. This can be used by children or adults that are nonverbal as a way to communicate using a keyboard to convey messages and communicate with others.
What a helpful device. Another useful item is the motivator reminding device. It vibrates at pre-programmed intervals to remind students to perform a certain task. This can be helpful in maintaining a schedule, which can be especially helpful for students with autism.
Phenomenal! Those are all examples of useful technology that our viewers can go out and purchase. But what about resources at home that our viewers can look up right now?
Well, Danny, for starters, the popular children's show Sesame Street has just introduced a new character, Julia, who has autism. She's the first character on the show to have an exceptionality.
That's amazing! And if any viewers at home want to find a book about therapies for children with autism, please check out Art as an Early Intervention for Children with Autism by Nicole Martin.
Well, that just about wraps things up for the day.
Speaking of raps, our next DAP program is a DAP rap by our own D. Robes and Ree Watts. Take it away, yo!
Dyslexia is a learning disorder where you see your words and letters out of order.
I see you're having trouble identifying speech sounds. So give it just a second. Slow it down.